Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to start our next keynote session. So I'd like to welcome everyone that's in the room and all of you who are watching us now because we are streaming live. So no worries if there is not a huge audience in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, our next topic is how data can drive personalized nutrition to prevent and treat chronic conditions in a food as medicine framework. Victor Penne, founder and CEO of Edamame, will share his take on the topic now. Hello, welcome.
Wow, thank you. That's a warm welcome. You never know after lunch, are people going to show up and they're going to be excited, or nobody's going to show up. So it is what it is.
There are a lot of people watching us live, so no worries.
Excellent.
And everybody is exciting to hear you now. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you. After that big bombastic topic introduction, I'm probably not going to say anything you don't know today, but hopefully I'll give you a model to think about food as medicine and how we can heal everyone. So first off, I want to start with, we believe that if we eat right, everybody can live up to 120 years without chronic conditions and mental illness. So if you see that lady, she's 92, doing yoga every day. So who here wants to do yoga at 92? Raise of hands. There you go. There you go. That's what we're going to try to do with food. Just not to be empty talking, I did an experiment myself. So those two pictures are taken 5 years apart, and it might be just the shaving of the beard, but you can see that through eating well, I actually look a little bit better than before. Now, how do we make food a medicine? It has to be personalized, obviously, because people have different preferences, different ways they eat, different microbiome, so on and so forth. As you can see, all famous people have their preferences: healthy, plant-based, sustainable, American. But what they should eat, we don't know. And here is what we need the model for. So the model is that we need both personal data and food data, and we need them both together in order to make truly personalized recommendations so people can heal through food. And the model also goes through what I call the cycle of the food data, which is first getting the food data, then digesting it, making sense out of it, then suggesting to people what they should do, help them act on that data, and then eventually eating the food so they can start again. So the first is establishing the baseline. We need those basic facts. What have you eaten? And I'm taking you through a few technologies, both existing now and in the future, for all of those stages. So right now, most of the way we log food is drop-down menus, maybe photos, maybe you talk to something. Well, next, we will be talking to smart devices, Amazon Alexa, Siri, so on and so forth. Generative AI comes in very handy here because you can talk to a device and say, hey, I had potato gnocchi and I don't know what else was, spinach for lunch, and that can be recorded and we know actually what you have eaten. Now, this is still very rudimentary, but much better than what we have now. Now, next comes the really fun stuff. Ingestible nanobots, digestibles, smart toilets, breath sensors, things that you stick on your skin. All of this makes logging food super easy because you don't have to do anything. We'll know your blood chemistry in real time, and we'll know what microbiome looks like in real time. Then you can start making something very useful out of that data and start suggesting to people. And notice I'm mentioning data all the time on every slide. Now, once we've gotten the data about what you've eaten, we need to start telling you what to do with it. And here comes a big problem. Nobody really knows. As you see those two articles, one promotes beef as a very good thing for you, and the other says beef will kill you. So there is so much contradictory data. And the reality is we don't really know. But that's what the state of the industry is, and hopefully it's moving forward into the right direction of knowing what we do. So based on that, right now we suggest to people something like general guidelines, eat that much of this, that much of that. It is, in all honesty, not a very good model, but that's what we have presently. Now, next, and something that's happening right now, is medically tailored meals. And this is truly happening because there's already a little bit of knowledge of how food can heal diseases like diabetes or kidney disease or Alzheimer's. And so companies are starting to make meals to treat those diseases. Those medically tailored meals are now in the process of being produced, sent, part of meal planning, so on and so forth. And there is a whole crop of new companies that are doing that. And then comes destiny control. We know that food, like any other thing that you do in your lifestyle, impacts your epigenetics. And epigenetics is really your destiny, the expression of your genes. So once we understand a little bit more how food impacts your epigenetics, we can start making really good suggestions. But wait, that's not all. The clinch comes when actually we are going to understand truly what the microbiome does. Because any food that we ingest ultimately goes first through our microbiome, and the way the microbiome processes the food impacts everything else we do. Now, the reality is we don't know too much. This graph shows how many articles have been published around microbiome, and this is just continuing. This was until 2017. That exponential curve is growing. But the microbiome is a vast, vast topic. So we don't know yet, but eventually we will, and we'll be able to truly recommend food that feeds your microbiome so you heal yourself. Now, we know how to, eventually suggest what you should eat, but would you actually eat it? And here comes one of the toughest problems in personalized medicine, personalized food and food as medicine, that people need to change their behaviors. And the problem is that people like their food cheap, convenient. Healthy is maybe number 3 or 4. And even if it's healthy, they still want to be cheap and convenient. So we need to work together to actually get our cheap, the healthy kind, the healthy food to a place where it's cheaper than a burger, fast food, or anything of that sort. So how do we motivate people to act right now with food? Well, we give them just basic guidelines. Eat this, not that. Avoid gluten, no dairy. Keto is good for you. More fat, more protein, so on and so forth. Well, next is going to come a little bit more convenience. We actually will have context. We'll know where you are, what you had for breakfast, and then we can suggest based on that, what you should be eating. Hey, there are a couple restaurants in your vicinity. This one has those 3 meals that fit. This one has those 5 meals. These are the prices. Here is something that you can eat. And that will make it a little bit easier for people to make the right food choices. And then next comes the no-brainer. Virtual nutrition is in the cloud. Something that knows everything about you, what you've eaten, your microbiome, your blood chemistry, and it can recommend in real time what you should eat, not only for lunch, but for dinner, and it knows what's in your refrigerator. So if you're driving back home, it can say, hey, this is a recipe that you can cook. You have those 3 ingredients. Do you like to send us a drone with the rest of the ingredients? And the kitchen robot is going to start cooking the meal. So by the time you come home, you can just stick it in the oven and be done and have a wonderful meal. So this is what's coming up next. And then once we have already suggested to people what they should do and made it easy for them, we need to make it very, very, very convenient. And as this cartoon shows, if you order Starbucks coffee, you shouldn't wait for it to come from somewhere. It should come straight out of your computer. Now, of course, that's a joke, but that's the convenience that people are after. They want to have the food here, now, without any wait, and that's what we need to drive at. So right now, everybody's familiar with the technology is one-click order. It is much better than 10 years ago. You can order groceries, you can order food from restaurants, all kinds of things. But next comes built order, and this is where personalization comes, because we have robots now that can start cooking meals for you, and you can do a little bit of personalization. So you can ask for a particular meal to be customized based on your preferences, your nutrient needs, your deficiencies, your allergies, and this can be done in real time versus selecting from a range of meals that may or may not fit, and then you select the meals that you do. Then another layer of convenience is obviously delivery. Everybody has heard about drones. Maybe some of you have seen drones delivering food. Maybe you've seen the robots driving on the streets, delivering pizzas and salads and so on and so forth. All this technology is going to get integrated. So eventually, we'll be just smiling and getting an order. In China, actually, there is a grocery store, Hippo, that you pay with smile. You don't touch anything. You don't have a credit card. You just smile, and that means, yes, I'll buy what is in my cart, and they just charge you. So that's exciting, but the most exciting thing is when you don't have to order at all. This is the future of smart kitchens, where your kitchen grows your food, it orders your food from the nearby regenerative agriculture farm, it ferments your food, it cooks your food, there's a robot that prepares it, and if you choose so, you can get engaged in the process, but if not, you can just have the food that perfectly fits you with the most fresh ingredients ever, and that will nourish you and make you heal. So once we've done all of that, then we come to the most fun part. We've ingested data, we know what you should eat, we've suggested what you should be eating, we've made it easy for you to prepare it, but then, get back to the social element of food. Eat with friends, delicious meals, and enjoy it. Now, if you noticed, in all my presentation, which I managed to go through 30 slides in about 10 minutes, everything is data. So in all those elements, if ingesting the data, digesting the data, suggesting, acting, there is data element. And so to make this future truly realized, we need to have data at every station, at every one process for every technology. And so, as they say, this is my pitch. If you want to change the world with data and heal everybody so that everybody can live to 120 without chronic conditions and mental illnesses, come join us. Let's evolve together. And by the way, that image was generated by a generative AI with a prompt of something Robot Kitchen preparing a healthy meal. So thank you so much.